Today I'm making a really gentle soap using honey and rolled oats and a melt and pour soap base. And all you need for making this soap is honey. I'm using a raw honey, some rolled oats, so they're just the regular old-fashioned rolled oats. I've got a cup to measure the oats, and I've got my Nutri blender so that I can blend up the oats. I don't actually want the oats in big chunks on the top or on the bottom or even inside the soap because there's a good chance they could go mouldy. So I prefer to blend them up so that they're throughout the whole soap evenly, and it gives you a better exfoliation when you're using the soap instead of great big chunks of oats sort of breaking off in the shower or the bath, wherever you're using your soap. So that's my preference, that's what I like to do, and that's what I'm going to show you today. I've also got a heavy base saucepan with my melt and pour goat soap in it. This is a white one. You can also get clear as well. I have my favourite silicone mould here. This is the oval shape. I love it because of the way it sits in your hand when you're using it, and it's just smooth and nice, and you can use it and it just feels really comfortable, the shape. So that's my favourite shape of soap. But of course you can use whatever soap shape you want. That's the fun thing about soap making. It's also a good idea to use a chopping block. I have a big wooden board on my table underneath my saucepan so that when the saucepan comes back hot from the stovetop, it is not going to damage the table any more than it's already damaged. And I can also put my soap mould on that as well because they get quite hot underneath when you're pouring the hot soap in. So let's get started. We're going to need the rolled oats first. We want to get all of the preparation done before we heat the soap up. And I'm using 1 cup of rolled oats. The rolled oats are all blended up and they're a little bit thicker than flour, so it's not as fine as flour. I've left them a little bit chunkier than that, but they are all blended up. So that's all ready to go. My mould's ready to go and it's sitting on my wooden block to protect the table. My mould is clean, as is my saucepan with my goat's milk soap in it. So I'm going to go and melt this on the stovetop. Also my honey has the lid off, so I'm ready to put that into the warmed up soap to melt that in as well. I'm melting 900 grams of soap in the saucepan, and I'll leave the amounts in the description below for you. Into that we're going to add the honey. And then the rolled oats go in. Scraping down the sides and getting all of those oats mixed in with the soap and honey. It actually smells a bit like porridge. Not that you'd want to be eating it. Ugh. Try and get any of those lumps out so that you don't have lumps of powder in your soap. And then it's ready to go into the mould. I'm always so messy with this. do that to get any air bubbles out. The tops don't look too good because I did overfill them, but I'm going to let that set, harden properly, and then we'll take them out of the moulds. If you're as messy as I am when you're pouring soap into the soap moulds, just let it set for about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the temperature where you are, how long it will take, and then you can just peel off any little bits of soap around the outside of the top of the mould. Or you can wait till they're completely set, and then you can do it then as well. I was extra messy today. These bits can just get melted down and turned into a smaller soap anyway. Using a melt and pour soap base is really good if you're starting out with soap making. It's a good way to experiment with the different herbs, whether they're medicinal or just beautiful flowers, different food items that you want to use in your soaps, and it's a really fun way to experiment without all the lye and all the safety gear that you need to wear when you're making soap with lye. It's a good way for kids to start out making soap, so long as they can use the stovetop and work with the hot melted soap mix. Now all we have to do is wait for these soaps to set fully, and don't be tempted to touch them and get our fingerprints in them, because it takes a while for them to really firm up and harden up and be set. Melt and pour soap isn't the soap you want to take in the car with you in the middle of summer and have in your backpack, because it will melt. It's the same with if you're camping in a tent. You don't want that in your tent in the middle of summer when it's 40 degrees or more, melting, because it'll get all over your stuff. So it's not the soap for that, but it's perfectly fine in your shower room, bathroom. And the honey and oats is really gentle. It's good for your face, and if you've got eczema, it could be good for you as well. But everyone's different, everyone's skin's different, so try it out if you'd like to see if it works for you. It's been 4 hours, and to remove the soaps, just stretch the mould to release the soaps, and then they just pop straight out. Because I overfilled them, I do have some excess on the top, which is actually the bottom. If you don't want that, just leave a millimetre or 2 millimetres of headspace, and then you won't have to worry about peeling off those extra bits. If you'd like to see some of my other soap recipes, or make beeswax wraps, heat sacks, salves, and many other projects, then check out this playlist. Thanks for watching.